All right, you know what, guys? Here next episode, you know, guys, transgender hate mail, homosexual hate mail, atheist hate mail. Basically, me rather do a bunch of screen caps on YouTube and TV. The response comments. I'm gonna get you TV lifestyles and a few other things. Trigger warning. You don't like what I say? Go ahead and click on the video and watch something else. Do not lie and say there's hate speech in my videos because there is no hate speech in my videos. Speech you hate, let's destroy. Let's continue on with people getting these wrong conversations. Me try to share mail by versus based biology, and then we continue to talk about that. Also, it's good to get vaccinated. Vaccinated, yeah, good to get vaccinated, so you can stop the spread. Help stop the spread of germs. COVID is still a thing, and there's other stuff coming up. There's other stuff coming up, yes, probably, but other stuff that's been around for even for a long time too. That could use any there are vaccinations for. It's good to get those vaccinations because you get sick of those with vaccine when you're vaccinated, and then that'll help you have a better time against them. Most likely, against them, you'll more likely be able to get over them quicker. So let's continue on here. Got a wall of text here of pseudoscience that is trying to excuse the transgender lifestyle, but it doesn't work. Watch this. Watch. Here you go. Okay, here goes. Okay, you want some science? Here's some science. That's wrong. It is scientifically proven that during conception, the sperm determines the gender of sex, biological sex. Yes, it does. It does. The X chromosome from the sperm mixes with the X chromosome from the egg, and that makes a female. The Y chromosome from the sperm mixes with the X chromosome with the egg, that makes a male. That's how that works. Yes. The same sperm is what created our minds. No, it doesn't. Well, God created our minds and bodies. Sperm creates bodies. It does. The fetus does not gain female or male reproductive organs until after the mind is developed. Not really. Well, the issue with this theory here, this is a theory, is that you're trying to say that there's a male or female mind. It's the problem is that the kid ain't born yet. Okay, the kid is still inside the mom. Okay, inside the mom's body, inside the uterus there, hanging out. All right, so the kid hanging out, he or she hanging out. Her body, his or her body, has already been is being formed right now. When the baby is born, if everything's supposed to go as it's supposed to, you will see on the baby either a penis and testicles, that is a male baby, or a vulva, that is a female baby. Right? The body is fully formed. Okay? The mind takes years to fully form, and you continue to form it, learn and grow over your whole life. Minds and bodies are not the same. Minds and bodies are the way they are. But minds are unique to each individual. Bodies are not. So you have to have certain traits to be considered human. Okay, it's how things work. So no, male and female minds are not a thing. People say it is, but it's not. Continue on. After the mind is developed. As a female or male mind, there is no male or female mind. Continue on. The mind is what determines the gender, no the identity. Your mind determines your identity, not your biological sex. Definitely not, because your biological sex is already determined by conception. Your chromosomes, not mind at all. Continue on. It has been scientifically proven. Some people have gender mutations in the womb, and the body is created as a male-female body when it's in the opposite gender body. Bull crap. Let's go. So our brains are genderly conformed, or they're not. Some brains do not have desired gender because something called a mutated sperm. Bullcrap. If it's mutated, it's not going to be as good as a healthy sperm. It will not make it. As far as a healthy sperm, it will die, and then all those come in there. That's not how that works at all. No, that is wrong. A sperm that carries no a sperm that carries no gender at all won't work. It has to have either an X chromosome or a Y chromosome to work. Okay? If it has neither, it's not going to do nothing. It's not going to work. So, no, that is wrong. Continue on here. Her carries no gender, therefore a person carries no gender. Bullcrap. No biological sex. Bullcrap. Every person does, unless it's a rare deformity. That's a different story there. But no, that's something you have to fix there. So that the person can actually use the bathroom. Have sex, when they get older, things like that. Kind of important to make sure those genitals work like it's supposed to. It's very important. Doesn't work. The only non-binary mind, all minds are non-binary. Okay, sorry. All minds are non-binary because it's not about reproduction with minds. Male, female is about reproduction. Minds are non-binary because they're not male or female. You don't reproduce with your mind; you reproduce with your body. You gotta have either penis and testicles that function properly, or involving ovaries that function properly, and uterus and everything that function properly to reproduce. So now, male and female is about reproduction, not identity. People trying to add it to identity. That's wrong. Let's continue on here. Go. What's next? Okay. The bodies are very often wrongly created bullcrap. They function normally, but I say they're wrongly created. Yeah, that's bad theory. GMP, gender mutation phenomenon, bullcrap. So really, the physical gender or physical sex. Holds enhanced mental gender, which is not a thing. It's a belief system. These are very recent studies, and they're wrong. So please do some extremely deep digging because they're still being discovered and proving theories like yours wrong through lies. I am Christian, and if anything, God heavily crafted our souls, deciding our gender, our identity. Yes, not our biological sex though. He did decide our biological sex, yes, but our biological sex is not based on our souls. It's based on our bodies. Continue on. Let's see here. Sometimes in the womb, the physical gender is not the gender God intended because of science bullcrap. Nope, definitely not. I know you're wrongly educated through truth, as that's okay, but I could pull verse after verse about how God says not to judge others and to love them sins and all. But you have no verses. And of course, we have to say sins are bad. In the Bible, the Apostle Paul judges a church saying, yeah, you're allowing this stuff, nasty sexual stuff, to go on in the church, and that's wrong. You got to stop. I judge that stuff wrong according to what God said, what the Bible says. Because he said he judges them. He judges a church. So yeah, no. You can judge a church. You can say people are doing wrong. Then any Christian can say people are doing wrong. Sorry, doesn't work. It doesn't work when you say, oh, well, that's a judge not right there says it. Read the rest of the verse, please. Like what? There's more to the verse than that. Doesn't work. Next. If you really feel the need to help them, then pray. Don't tell them their thinking is wrong. I know I'm going to pray and tell them their thinking is wrong because they're thinking wrong. What's sitting here? It's you, according to the lies I was told. You're judging the others, which is what I'm supposed to do, as far as preaching the gospel, saying they're wrong, right, and proving it, and acting like you know all when there is it's really disrespecting our Lord because He's the only one fit to judge others at the end of life. Yes, not during life. During life, we are supposed to help each other do better, so that when it comes time for that final judgment, they don't go to hell. Okay, that's kind of the important thing there. I mean no aggression, and as a fellow Christian, I hope in the future you can learn to trust God's process more and have more faith in His work and His people. I'll pray that you let more love into your heart, accept others, have a blessed day, red heart. And so thank you for explaining that better than I could ever through lies. Thank you. Smiley face, heart. Get your throw behind out of here. Nope, he's a man, not a girl. Untrue. Should have liked it. Yeah, that is totally wrong. That science is totally wrong. I know there's no mental gender. There's no mental biological sex. There's no male or female brains. Because again, their brains that look male or look female, but that's the issue. It can be in anyone's head. You have a person born with testicles or with ovaries heads, meaning you have someone born with testicles and someone born with ovaries that have the same looking brain. So it doesn't work. The brain theory does not work. Nope. And of course, that's a good excuse for them to be like, oh, my brain, who cares about what my body looks like? My brain is this, because I say it is, so I'm not going to show you any brain scans or nothing. Sweat. But you really are that stupid. Also, you know what gender dysphoria is? Fear of what you think people will think of you because of your biological sex. All because I said something about after sissy weak feelings, no problem. Well, this last one could get it through to that person through lies. Then so that's because trans men want to look like men and trans women want to look like women. Also, there's been a number of factors. Not just your passing or not, like biological sex. So whether you're putting an effort to take an extra step to be yourself through lies, it's not being yourself. Being yourself involves telling the truth. So I said, okay, let me say, this is not matter whether you're he or she or trans or gender or gender fluid or bi or gay or lesbian or pan or anything. All that matters is that you have a nice personality. So I said, hating on somebody about their life, you get yours, you're in line. What? You mean she? She was born as a male. Yes, so he's a male. So use male pronouns for him. Who else? Her, him, female, male. Next. Male. Next. And I break this stuff down. I don't just leave that nasty stuff alone. I break it down real good. All right, quote: "The body is a very wrongfully created gender mutation phenomenon. So really, physical gender holds nothing as mental gender. First, there is no mental gender. I say. Second, God does not make mistakes. People do all the time, though. Now, to us Christians to help them fix those mistakes or stop them from making them in the first place. Rescue those be led away to death. Hold back those targeted towards slaughter. Proverbs 24:11. So I'll pray for them, but I'll also continue to speak out against this messed up stuff. I'm sorry, it's going to happen." There's that. There's it. Speaking out against is also judging. Yeah, you're supposed to judge. God has said so many times over and over, the judgment is a sin. Where? He does not say that. Only God can judge. He can't. He judges the last judgment. We need to do this to help people and give a good last judgment. Yes, there's such thing as assigned gender. No, yeah, there's not. There's stereotypes. Yeah, there's stereotypes. My sister is majoring in psychology at MIT, and yes, it is real through lies. Yeah, out of college, I just lost all credibility by saying that. Yeah. Okay, it's science, and he gives us free will. I never said he makes mistakes. Yeah, you did. But it's just humans aren't perfect. You expect us to read more. Only my feelings, and that's not good enough. And I say humans are not perfect, but God did not make us that way. We mess ourselves up by our bad choices, by trying to transition to be happy. As all having is based on lies and fear. If God wanted to make his boy female, he would have given him a vagina, uterus, and ovaries. He gave them a piece of testicles, so he's supposed to be male. He's trying to hide it, and that's wrong. Very good. Okay, so you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube and DeviantArt.